Welcome to Tauke Talks with Dayana from Nyonya Kain. So Tauke Talks is a series of sharing sessions where we ask small but mighty business owners about their motivation of why they started their business in the first place and a little bit more about the story behind their journey. And Tauke Talks is brought to you by RYSE, or also called RISE, which is our program that we equip young people with entrepreneurial skills and knowledge so that they'll be more equipped to start a business someday in the future or even now. And we are fully supported by City Foundation, and we also believe in RISE that entrepreneurship is not only for the big tech startups, but also including the small and very mighty business owners, just like Dayana from Nyonya Kain. So RISE aims to showcase stories like this that they are staying strong even throughout the COVID-19 and also still chasing their dreams even during this time. So without further ado, I'm Denise, your host of the day, and welcome Dayana from Nyonya Kain. Welcome.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. So I'm Dayana Reza. I am from Nyonya Kain. So Nyonya Kain is based in Kuala Lumpur. I think we feature more of textiles and batik collectibles. I think earlier, maybe last year and end of 2018, I think we were more towards bazaar. So I think some of you around some of the usual bazaar locations might have seen our booths and all that. But as of the MCO period, we have been fully online. All right. But I would like to announce as well that starting from August, we will be fully restocked at Tribeca Artisan in Bangsa Village 2. So I understand that there were a lot of people who were asking, oh, can I just walk into your store and just have a look at everything you have? So I know it was not easy to kind of turn them down, but so that will be something we'll be coming up with in the next few days. So just bear with us. And I think in terms of bazaars, we will be officially starting the first one scheduled for September for now.
Wow, okay, great. So before we start, just a quick agenda of tonight's session. We'll start off with knowing a little bit more, like how do people get to know more about Nyonya Kain, what are the social media accounts that they have, and then we'll go straight into the sharing session, like more into the motivation and the story behind the business. And then we also have a Q&A session. So if all your questions, if you have any, you can ask in the chat and then we'll answer it then. And lastly, we have a little shout out, which is Rise Online, which is our free online course that is happening right now. And we also will announce the next talk session. So yeah, I think Nyonya Kain, like how do people know more about it? Like if I have to order, how should I order?
Okay, in terms of we are working on our website, so that is coming very, very soon as well. So, but for now, we are taking in orders through our social media. Our Facebook is Nyonya Kain 92, as well as our Instagram is Nyonya Kain. So most of everything, we do have a Telegram channel which we update with our stocks. So that is where everyone can have a look at the whole range of items we have, as well as that is where they want to see like sometimes the high definition photos, of all the nice skirts, the tote bags, the accessories and all. So for now, yes, we are only through DM basis, but moving forward, maybe August as well. I think we'll be launching our website, so that will make it a lot easier for a lot of people to purchase online and view the full range. Yeah.
Interesting. And the concept of your business is very interesting. Like trying to solve, in a sense, textile waste, and also still conserving all that traditional way of clothing, and also doing it in little ways that you can express your love for this kind of craft. Could you share like what inspired you to start this business in the first?
Okay, in terms of it started at the end of 2018. So actually what happened was it was a trip to Kelantan with my brother and my mother actually. So what happened was I was just so mesmerized with all the textiles at Wakaf Cik Ye. So that's one of the famous shopping night markets there in Kelantan, you see, Kota Baru. So it started literally with just my mom saying, why don't you just buy like 25 to 30 pieces and then just try to sell it among your colleagues and see where it goes from there. So literally that's how it started. So I just bought about 30 nice pieces. I brought back and it was sold out within like 2 times of me just showing it after working hours to my colleagues. And then after that, it was like, I'll order more. So because while I was there, I networked with the kain sellers there, you see. So I said, can we just deal online, like, through WhatsApp, and you just post to me all online transfers? They were like, yep, no problem. So that was how I met all the the suppliers there first. And then I started my first bazaar in November 2018. So that's when I brought in, I think in terms of bringing in textiles, I think there were not that many vendors that were doing that. So I started out with that first. And then slowly towards in January, that's when I started to bring in skirts, pario skirts, because actually I noticed that I wear sometimes 2 skirts a week to work, because I love it so much, either the batik ones and all that, because of how the motifs and all that. And it matches really well with plain outfits and all. So, and then slowly, I started to get more capital, to kind of buy more products. And then next thing, I had like a little bit of all these small little trinkets and handicrafts that I got from the small time entrepreneurs in Terengganu and Kelantan. So it was good. It was a nice feeling being able to also assist and empower all the other entrepreneurs there, based there as well, in the villages and all that. So from there, then, I started to also collaborate more and exercise my creativity and interest in the traditions and local culture. So, and then at the same time, just to share a bit, before Nyonya Kain, on the side, I was a photographer basically. So I really like taking photos of all sorts of things, products, weddings, events, mostly in terms of details and food. And I realized that I wanted to take photos of something at the same time, maybe be able to dabble into entrepreneurship as well. So now I'm having a really good time because I'm taking photos. All the photos are taken by me. All right. So in terms of taking photos of all the products that I have and all that. So it is nice. It's a good feeling to kind of mix both of my interests together. And in terms of, I think at one point, even in the long run, I do aim to make it to be a social enterprise as well. But that is still in the works, and it's still in the plan. But but basically in terms of for this, I'm still running it on my own. So sometimes there are a bit of limitations, and also
Mm.
juggling my full-time work as well. So yeah, and I think in terms of, because I love batik, and I feel like I would like to see more of the local traditions and things that were used to be beautiful and amazing and vintage and traditional last time, and I want to see that being applied to in everyday lifestyle by everybody around us. So I think, and also basically to just spread joy and love, for batik and our local products as well.
Mm. I see. And do you think in the sense, your educational background helped you to do this now, like starting a business
Yes,
for yourself?
yes, actually. Okay, so just a bit of background. I did a degree in commerce, but majoring in accounting. And as of 2018, I finished my CPA. So I'm a chartered accountant by training. But in terms of my full-time job, I do more of finance and accounting, a bit of economics as well. So, but in terms of, I think it's really interesting and important when to apply it in your business, because especially like for me, running it on my own, having to take care of your own finances, your books, your account, and in terms of all the administrative work, as much I do have an assistant with me, Joelle. All right, she does it part-time, on a daily basis as well. So sometimes, as and when I do need administrative work, I do engage her. But other than that, she does help me on my social media, just to make sure I'm keeping track and I'm on the ball with everything lah. Yeah, but definitely I think it really helps because whenever it comes to product pricing, whenever it comes to negotiations with suppliers, whenever it comes to bulk purchases, orders, or even over anything, basically I think any part of whatever you study, I think will really be applicable in whatever you do, especially business. Yeah. I mean, it's just a
Mm.
bonus if, let's say, for example, if I did fashion and textile degree, that maybe perhaps would be the most ultimate degree for my product, maybe for my business, maybe. But I think any part of your degree, whatever that you're doing, is still applicable. Yeah.
That's a very interesting point. And everyone can learn on the go as well, even a small
Yes,
entrepreneur.
exactly, yes.
And I think as a young, in a sense, young small business owner, did you have any challenges when you first started?
Oh yes, definitely. I think first of all, because I never went online first. Like, there was nothing online. I didn't do any. It was no website, nothing. Even my social media was not as okay as it is now, to be honest. So in terms of when we first started, I had no experience in bazaars. In terms of like having a physical outlet, being there on at the site, I'd had no experience in that. Everything was on my own. At one point I didn't really have I didn't actually hire part-timers until later on last year. So it was either just me on my own, or even like having friends to come and teman me, like, hey, I need to eat, can you just like jaga for me for half an hour or so. So there were certain things like that, but after a while I realized, you know it's going to get a bit too hectic. So I did get more help on board. So I do have a team of part-timers who are really awesome and amazing. And in terms of, also, I think at that point, I did not have any plans to actually do a partnership or even to joint venture with anyone. So I knew that no matter what, this is something that I have to carry on my own. And at that point, I didn't have as much business experience as probably I have now. So it was really learning on the go, as much as I'm, talking a lot to like mentors, especially my mother. My mother runs her own law firm. So she gives a lot of good legal and entrepreneurial advice as well. So in terms of, I think, and also in terms reading a lot as well, like looking at motivational pages, learning, as and when, like, I think every bazaar, every month, the moment you get more used to when you have your events and all that, I think you really learn a lot. You start to learn, oh, okay, the behaviors of the customers, the how it works, like in terms of the spending powers, what products work and not. So it's really just a lot of trying and then just re-strategize. So I think that was my goal, or my game plan, because I was more of like, okay, I'm just gonna do it first and then analyze, okay, what worked, didn't work, okay, use what worked, and then
Mm.
improvise the next few times, you see. Because I didn't really, to be honest, it was not, I didn't have enough time to really strategize and plan. Sometimes at one point the bazaars were coming like every 2 weeks, every week. So sometimes it was just like a bullet train kind of thing. So, and then I think it was also a lot of time management, and also having a lot of hard work. There's nothing comes easy. Is nothing will just fall down from the sky kind of thing. And I always believe that, you know if you really want to be successful, if you really want, that goal, to achieve that goal, or if you really want, let's say, a feature, you want to get, your favorite celebrities wearing your products, you want to get it worldwide and all that, I think you really got to get what you want. You really got to go for it, because sometimes I think, as much as you work really hard, and as much as you no matter what, it's always your own efforts as well. That's very important. And I think I learned to take it a day at a time. I think that's very important. If not, you'll just get burnt out super fast. So yeah.
I'm sure it was not easy, and what a interesting like change and up and down of your journey the
Uh,
last 2 years. I'm sure it's also very hard for small businesses during the COVID-19
oh
crisis.
yes, actually.
Can you share like
Um,
what challenges did you face and how did you solve them?
okay. Well, COVID really caused like a lot of disruptions for I think everyone. Okay, but for me personally, it was the suppliers, as well as like in terms of customers as well, and perhaps having to really keep up with being digitally inclined. And also, like, for suppliers, for example, I had problems with shipments coming in, because, for example, the materials that are coming from Indonesia, they're all stuck, because nobody will be bringing them in at one point. And then you have the factories are not producing the kain. So my local kain, all the batik suppliers have all stopped because they're MCO. So
Mm.
that kind of created a lag as well. And then customers, your usual customers are so used to coming and feeling the kain, picking it out. So some of them do not want to go digital. So they're like, it's okay. When you finally open back, we'll come back to you. So it was kind of at one point a bit of a dip in sales as well. So that was a bit difficult. And I think it was just a lot of it was a bit competitive as well, to be honest, because you know everybody's just trying to. I mean, in a way, it brought everyone to basically come down to a fair level playing field, because
Mm.
everyone was basically had to go online. So I think that was not easy because in terms of like for me, like I said, I was not used to being online, so I wouldn't know. I not say I wouldn't know, but it was just a lot to catch up, like trying to learn, at night before tidur, like watching Instagram marketing, YouTube videos kind of thing. So those kind of things. So yeah, and it was good to also, I think, share with other vendors. Like there were other vendors, my friends, and some of them that we were actually very communicative during the whole MCO, just to share like, oh, how are things, maybe how can we help each other. So there were a lot of
Mm.
collaborations as well, like I tag you, you tag me, we put our products together, how can we kind of paying it forward. So that was good as well. And I think in terms of a lot of feedback gathering as well. So I think I engaged a lot of my family, my friends, even customers as well. Like what worked, what didn't work. It was always best to run it by them because they would know how it would work and they would be the ones to give you an honest feedback. Especially my customers, to be honest. Like when I wanted
Mm.
to launch something or I wanted some opinion, I always felt better to just put it on the Instagram Insta story, and then the responses you get, you're like, oh, okay. For example, I might think, oh, I think I like this, but then everybody's like, no, don't. Like, it's not something you would enjoy or not something that could be sellable. So I'm like, okay, I take note. So I think that was very good. Like, yeah.
Wow. I'm sure it's very interesting, like a different way to adapt during this time, and also I'm sure you probably have more, hopefully more customers as well during because everyone's buying
Oh,
online.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you started as I'm sure quite young entrepreneur. Do you think young people should start their own businesses? And
Definitely.
can you tell us why?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. I think in terms of business, you can start at any age, like in terms of there's no minimum age to start a business. Sometimes like you can see even like younger people, younger than me, actually being so uh, great and already so how to say in terms of already so great, in terms of when they are at their booths or selling or even promoting their products, like so for me, to be honest, like at 2018 I was 26, so that's when I started Nyonya Kain. But I've been dabbling in business basically since I was form 5. I mean, right after SPM. So what happened, my first ever business opportunity, or actually having to handle my own business, was while waiting for SPM results. What I did was I actually, in terms of I, at that point, there were last time there was no carousel and everything. I mean, I don't know. I think no, yeah, I don't have. So there was only like muda.com.my. So what I did was I actually created a business just reselling secondhand either luxury or at least really good quality products. So like my family members or good family friends, let's say luxurious handbags, and as well as like their good quality secondhand shoes or even anything else. So at that point, and I remember using my father's bank account, so having to kind of go to him like, Pa, did anybody deposit any money? Okay, which one? Okay, can you contract with me and all that? And then having, just got licensed, so going to the post laju office to send them off and all that. So and it was, I think it was a really good experience because at 17, I had to know how to handle customers, and I had to basically make customers also have trust, because at that point, it's all like on muda.com.my's platform. And people, when, let's say for example, they wanted to buy the secondhand Crocs shoes, they will see the pictures and they would have to transfer the money first, and I would ship it out and send them the tracking details. So there's a lot of trust element there that's involved. And for and so I felt the responsibility was great. And then I also had people who would call me up and be like, how come, the shoe arrived and, the sole, something was, some problems there. So at 17, having to deal with, and also being a good marketing person and having to deal with customer service as well, and having to, negotiation skills, some people like, can you discount or not? Then you're like, but no lah, auntie, this one already so cheap, so I think it was also, how to kind of survive as well, because at that point, like it was pretty much, in terms of the experience was really fun. And to be honest, that experience of starting a business at 17 was actually something that was really evaluated for like my scholarship applications as well as my employment application as well. So I think no matter what, it's such a good move to always start early. Even if, actually, to be honest, I'll just share, like over the weekend, we I was back in Malacca and I met this young boy who was actually just at one of the restaurants that my family and I were at. And he was form 4. He's form 4, sorry. And he is already on the side, doing like printing services and a bit of drop shipping, selling, perfumes on the side. So, and already at 16, being very determined that, okay, I want to do a degree in business ad or accounting or economics, because I just want to do business for the rest of my life. So I think in terms of that, go for it. I think people, they should definitely start early. I understand, okay, maybe the issue is that you may think that you may need a lot of money, but actually no, because like what I can recommend is that, you can always start with drop shipping, or even basically like in terms of, drop ship, or even let's say like assisting at bazaars or anything. So that's when you learn on the job. So I always like to take on, like, part-timers who actually want to do business and learn more on the job, because I love to teach, I love to share, how our experiences and all that. And like, for example, dropship. So like Nyonya Kain, as of earlier this year, we actually started having a dropship system as well. So I do have agents, coming in every month. And right now I have about 12 to 15 agents under me. So, all of them, most of them are fresh grads, students, or some just wanting to earn a side income as well. So that is a good opportunity, especially for all the young ones, because there's no capital needed. All you need to do is just have your smartphone, have access to certain apps and all that, and you build your customer base there. You build all your skills from there, and along the way, the team, the network is good as well, because we share and kind of coach each other as well. So I think that's why a lot of people, I think they feel, oh, when they want to start selling something, there's always an upfront payment needed. No, like, always look for these kind of opportunities. Yeah. And you're always welcome to come and join us as well. Yay.
Yay. Yeah, I think that was a great point about how entrepreneurship gives you the experience to learn interesting skills, interesting experiences that you can learn from, and hopefully, even if you don't want to do a business in the future, you can always be more employable in the eyes of your new employer, right?
Exactly. Actually, to be honest, like, I think one thing I wanted to add was, being in business, right? Either if it works or it doesn't work for you, it teaches you something, and it definitely gives you some kind of self-development as well, because not only you get to improve your interpersonal, your technical, your social skills all at one go, because like, you can't succeed at business if you don't know your products, or you don't know how to talk about your products, or if you are terrible at public relations. Your PR is if it's not good, you know it's going to be really difficult to push your business, because you need to have that first hand engagement with customers on a positive note first. So if, let's say, even if you're not doing business full time, or even if you stopped, you want to focus more on your corporate job, or even any other employment, right? All this will be definitely useful for your employment, because let's say when you go into corporate, like for me, I know my full-time job is in corporate. So, being in business teaches me how to be patient, with customers and people, so at work, I learned that, oh, my conflict management skills have improved, my patience has increased as well. And, in terms of dealing with people, I think right now, one of the most important skills is actually people management, because, especially in certain employment or certain areas of work, you really need to be dealing with people. You need to be working in a team. So, not just being a team player is important, but having personal skills as well. Knowing how to talk to people, knowing how to relate, how your analytical skills as well. So, like for example, in corporate, you could be working on a very serious project, more relating to, engineering, IT, or something more serious. But if in your business, it's analytical as well, because you need to plan, what products to do, how to your pricing and everything. So I think, if somebody is able to handle a business and to kind of operate a business, regardless, maybe jual nasi lemak, you could be managing the whole of H&M, or you could be a small time, business owner like me. Everything needs all these skills, no matter what. So I think there's nothing negative at all about dabbling into entrepreneurship, because the only thing you'll get is just knowledge and experience. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. So sorry everyone, you might exceed the time for tonight, but because
Okay, I'm so sorry.
stories. So we just go into our Q&A session, yeah. One of the questions that the audience submitted, which is one is it due to COVID-19 that you decided to be digitalized, like, or maybe more
Yes,
focused
yes,
online?
definitely. Because there was no other way to get sales. At that point, it was there was no in terms of, if I don't go digital, if I don't start selling and promoting it online, and engaging with customers a bit more and doing promotions on my Instagram and Facebook, I would not get sales. Because like I was just trying to benchmark. Last time it was manageable, because I knew, like, okay, customers would just focus on having to come to my bazaars, or even they would know, okay, they would come to, or even let's say they would be able to go to Bangsa Village to get the products. So during MCO, it was quite limited. And at that point, I was thinking, by hook or by crook, I really need to go digital. And that's what happened. And to be honest, to be very honest with everyone, it is the greatest blessing that has happened, because um, online, I think, makes you reach so, the reach is wide. I have
Mm.
people from all over Malaysia, and I actually had international deliveries as well. So that was fun, to see my products go to, like, for example, Singapore, Thailand, and then I think the furthest was Australia at that point, before the lockdown, and in terms, sorry, during the lockdown, just the first week, I think, before borders all were shut. So it's great. And I think, and it personally, for me, it gives me better chances of handling the business as well, because I think at one point, having physical bazaars, it really gets exhausting, because
Mm.
the preparation, the closing down, and having to man the booth, having all that actually was very mentally and physically exhausting. So it was a good time for me to kind of just reflect and re-strategize my business. And having all the stocks at home here in my apartment kind of really helps, because everything is just, it's easier for me to do it. I'll manage my sales, follow up with customers all in front of my Netflix. So it's really easy. It's really fun. Yeah, it's good.
Wow. And it kind of links with the next question actually with I think John asked, what's the challenges you face when you promote your craft online? Is it hard that because customers have that belief of I need to touch it before I buy it?
I think that's when the trust and you knowing your product comes in. Like for example, when we show a picture of like a skirt or something, right? Is, like for example, when, as much as you need to have a lot of description and be very very honest with, let's say, the materials used, or the potential long term, like what can happen, how do you take care of it, so all that has to be there. I think that is the business owner's responsibility to the customers. And then when it comes to customers inquiring further, it is up to the business owner, or even like for me, me handling the social media, to kind of reassure the customer that, okay, this is mixed cotton, or even this is made of polyester. So it's more of that, because the worst thing is we don't want to sell something and have a customer be upset that it's not what they wanted, or even they are disappointed with the quality and all that. So of course it's not easy, but I take it as a challenge, because like, I love photography. So that part is where it's really important to kind of really really make sure your photography skills are up to speed, speak and also in terms of your descriptions. So, and I like to write. So I think sometimes and I love to talk. So I think all of you know that. But so like when it comes to writing, I like to really make sure I explain everything as much as
Mm,
possible, because I think even I'm thinking me myself when I'm buying online or so, like especially when it comes to certain things, you want to know more, like how does it look, the angles and all that. So I try to always put myself in the customer's shoes and try to make sure that their, how to say, in terms of all their, they they shouldn't be any further negative doubts from their side lah. Yeah, hope
yeah,
that
that's a
answers it.
very interesting point. Yes. I
I
hope you don't
think
mind. I have one last question
can
from
no
the
problem.
audience. I think it would
Sure.
be very interesting to hear about, which is what makes you keep on pursuing this small business, even as a side business? I'm sure it's difficult to juggle both full-time job and this as a side business. Like, what motivates you to keep going?
The personal gratification, I think the satisfaction of doing it yourself, I think, and also the fun and joy, I really believe, some people might say it's very optimistic or it's very but you really got to do what you love and really love what you do, to a certain extent, because you cannot feel like, you're doing it just for the sake of, paying bills or just for the sake of putting food on the table or something. You really have to have that passion, from here. Because if not, you know, the outcome will not mean as much to you. So for me,
Mm,
in terms of that is something that really keeps me going. Like since MCO, I really loved the fact that I got to interact more with my customers. At one point, some of them became friends already, because we're just like, hello, hi, what are you doing, Nyonya Kain? And I'm like, I'm just watching the next episode of Designated Survivor, for example. So like, oh, okay, okay, are you having any new products tomorrow? I said, yeah, maybe I'll let you know. So it's nice. It's nice to, and then that feeling of seeing people like share, like, oh, I've received my box from Nyonya Kain, and then like sharing how much they love it. So that keeps me going a lot, like, in
mm,
terms of, and at the same time, it's a huge self development as well, and it's a lot of experience. So I think I can safely say right now at 28, how I am today, I think I would be so different if I didn't have Nyonya Kain in my life. Like a lot different. Like it brought so much, joy, happiness, love, everything, to me since it started. I don't know what I would be without Nyonya Kain, to be very honest. And to be very, very honest as well, as a business owner, I think another part of it is it's a side income for me. So, and I'll be, when it comes to, I think, entrepreneurs, when you mature in life, later on, there are going to be a lot of financial commitments and things that you would need to do as responsibilities increase. So
mm,
another thing that, apart from the love and joy and the passion as well, I think it's also the financial benefits as well to me, because it really helps, to a certain extent.
mm.
And I believe now also with things, making ends meet, it's getting a bit harder as well. So I think having a side business, it's not wrong to have a side business. And to be honest, I salute people, everyone who has a side business and doing things, because I think keeping busy is not wrong. It's good actually to keep you active. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Diana, for sharing your journey, ups and downs,
Welcome.
also the love, and also, of course, very useful skills that you've learned over the past 2 years. Um, yeah, I think what the key points that I can take away from today's session is asking for help when we need to, but also being very um, proactive in our learning. Keep on reading, keep on searching on how to collaborate with people to make your own business or any venture that you have successful. So I hope everyone feel inspired as well and enjoyed the session for tonight. Before we go, if you feel interested to start a business or you're interested to learn like the basics about business building, you can actually find out more through Rise Online, which is a free online course that is in short, meaningful video lessons and also um, group chats, group discussions about case studies. And if you are 18 to aged 18 between age between 18 to 25 years old, sorry, you have a chance to win seed funding up to 10,000 ringgit. So if you're interested, you can sign up using this link here. And our next Tauke Talks, which is with wicked candles, it is in a different format. We won't be doing live session anymore. For that next session, you can always see our video on our Facebook page, our YouTube, and also our Instagram. So the next page will be our social media handle. So if you can find out more about Rice, you can find out through here. Thank you so much, Dayana, for your time tonight.
Thank you, Rice. Thank you, Rice, for this opportunity. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll be sharing it on our platforms as well. So,
yes. See you all. Bye.
bye. Have a good evening.
You too.